more of a situation that my team gonna have to figure out a way to survive. But go ahead. Your
Yeah, man.
thoughts on that too. Y'all thoughts on that too.
Twin, go ahead, man. Twin, go ahead.
Hey man, listen here. Last time I checked, you talking about the Rams of last year or the man? Listen here, they had a guy.
I'm talking about the year they won the Super Bowl, man. 31-10.
I know you. They had a guy by the name of Matthew Stafford, who was known as having one of the greatest arm talents coming out of college. Who not only was a great arm talent, I think the last 3 wide receivers he had starting their career off, whether it's a Cooper Kupp or a Calvin Johnson or a Puka Nakua, they had the most receptions in the 4-span game in the history of football. All 3 of them, and the one common denominator was Matthew Stafford. So one thing for sure is the leadership and who is the person anchoring that offense. And so there's a difference between a Matthew Stafford and a Dak Prescott, because Dak never had to sit here and hold the doggone offense on his shoulders. But ever since the boy Matthew Stafford been in this league, he had some sorry teams, but nobody ever doubted his ability to throw that doggone ball for his arm talent. Dak can sit there. He can be a good point guard. He can distribute the ball, but his arm talent was not like the one and only Matthew Stafford. So that's the difference, I'll tell you. And another one was the guy in the middle by the name of Aaron Donald compared to the young buck, Michael Parsons. Because at the time, Aaron Donald was a multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year winner. And last time I checked, Michael is still a good player, but he's on the up and coming,
Bull sugar, man. Y'all beat the brakes off Matthew Stafford. And then on top of that, yeah, you could talk about arm talent, but he still threw a crazy 2 picks in that game on 31-10. And then on top of that, it's juggernaut as that defense is, y'all made them look very generic. So I get with what you're saying. And on top of that, y'all are Jaquaski, however you say that, man, taught interception away from winning that game, basically. So come on, man.
Did they have a triple threat winner?
Look, I'm not trying to sway the conversation away from the Cowboys. Cowboys, Rams, they won the Super Bowl that year. They did something that we didn't do in a couple of years. Come on, well, in decades. So let's go back to the Cowboys. Y'all won. Y'all beat us down. Let's go.
Yeah, let's talk about this game real quick. 10-42, 42-10 is a better way of saying it. Niners just manhandled the Cowboys. Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy both threw 24 passes. Dak completed 14. A lot of dinking and dunking. I wore this shirt not for Brock. I wore it for Dak today. That man is dinking and dunking. A lot more dinking than dunking. It faced Brock Purdy 17 of 24, 252 yards, 4 touchdowns versus Dak's 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. Let's stick with Dak real quick before we move on.
Go ahead.
3 interceptions, man. Well, some of them just seemed like he just gave up on it. Like, what are you seeing from Dak out there?
I think that in this game, you guys handicapped that guy and put him in a body bag and made him look like one of the starving kids that need to, if you can donate 10 cents a day, you can help a child, right? And that's what he looked like out there versus the 49ers. Anything that y'all wanted to do, y'all did that. You shut down the run. You forced him to say, hey, if you can't even get the underneath pass because of the way your linebackers rally and chase, we dare you. I double dare you to pass it over the top of the umbrella. And then he at this point, it's alarming because I don't think that he can get the ball over the top anymore. I'm not going to put that on the wide receivers because at this point, if you guys playing 2 high safeties, right? And we seen the Arizona Cardinals after we lost to the Arizona Cardinals after they won against us, they said all we did was play 2 deep safeties, right? Mm-hmm. And we heard that there were situations that teams looked at it and said, we're just going to drop them and force this team to hit us underneath and force this team to run. But the problem is, even Dez Bryant pointed this out, and he played more football than us over here on this panel. He said, Cowboys, I'm going to keep it 100. This is Dez Bryant's mouth. You can't sit back on a team like the 49ers and only throw out a shotgun. But when you get under center, you run, right? Especially when you got people like Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. And shout out to Brian Baldinger. He pointed out if anybody was smiling from the heavens was Dick Buckus on the way Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw played linebacker. They rallied, they chased, and then they made it physical. They don't give a damn about a whistle, because if there's time for me to suplex somebody, I'm going to suplex them. If it's time for me to blow through the guard to get to the doggone running back, they did just that. So those are the things that we've been having issues with. It's the mentality mindset of it. And with 2 linebackers, it felt like y'all had 10 linebackers out there, because when y'all hit us, y'all hit us. And right now, we look like we look terrible. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
I got a question about that. So Don't Bother Me brings this up. It says Dak's deep ball has a pop fly trajectory. I was surprised by that, man. I thought he had a better deep ball. Does he always throw like that? Maybe I'm not watching enough Cowboys games, but they were like lob ducks up there. What's up with that? Is that normal for him?
In the last 5, well, I'm not gonna say it's 5 years. Something happened. Because all I know is Dak Prescott used to have one of the best deep balls passed in the National Football as far as accuracy and numbers, right? Number-wise and percentages. Just like Russell Wilson. He used to have one of the better deep balls out there. You know, both of those guys, I don't know what's going on. And I'm not trying to deflect and say, hey, this is the same thing that's going on with Dak. But the deep ball threat is no longer there. And unfortunately, when you're playing against a team that's dropping safeties deep, you're supposed to be able, if you can hit a player on a double move and get somebody over the top, you got to make them pay. And we haven't done that in the last, I would say the last 2 years. I would say since 2021 against that Denver's Broncos game. We have found a way not to be able to make them pay. And I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. What are you done with Dak? Are you done with Dak, Law? What's your faith in Dak Prescott?
Well, here's the thing. It's a conundrum. I understand the flow of the football game as it relates to the money aspect. $59 million, you can't eat that, and you can't trade that away. And the Cowboys, the way they handle Dak Prescott is a way, whereas I said, it's like, for example, when you first learning to drive and you got your parents in the car with you. Mm-hmm. Keep both hands on the steering wheel. Hey, pull your seat up, you know. Hey, make sure you got your seat belt on, you know. Hey, did you use the turning signal? Hey, you in the school zone. It's one of those things. And if he can't play loosely and if he can't play freely, then why you got him? Why would you put restrictions on a guy that you paid? So the Cowboys state that they don't trust Dak Prescott. So why, as the fan base, we should trust Dak Prescott at this point? I said this before, and I know it's kind of early where you at. And I know it's kind of early where you at, Twin. And I know this is a beatdown session on Dak, but the way he played is like he's in an 8-year relationship with his woman, but he still used protection. And that is not going to work. I need Dak to look like the Mississippi State Dak. I need Dak to say, hey, if I throw this interception, damn it, I threw it, right? Let's get back to it. Don't govern me. Don't put restrictions on me. Let me play me. But he's not playing that way. And that's how I look at it. It looks like he's being handcuffed. And then it looks like, hey, if I make too many mistakes, Cooper Rush finna get in. And if not Cooper Rush, it's Trey Lance. And that is the environment that the Cowboys created. I can't find a soul that can tell me otherwise. That's my thoughts on that.
Twin, man. What you're watching Brock Purdy out here with playing against Dak. I mean, he's not playing against Dak, but you see Brock Purdy in the same night as Dak. Coming in this game, I said, hey, Brock's playing better than Dak this season, but I don't know about overall. I think I changed my mind. I think Brock's just better than Dak overall, man. That's my opinion, Twin. What are you thinking, man, after watching the game last night?
Well, you already know this, man. Me and you kind of caught a little flack because we were the type of people say, let's continue to see more. I want to see him play against some better opponents. And that's what I said about Brock. I wasn't saying that he didn't play, he didn't ball out, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, let's see him play against a team that has a good defensive line and a good secondary and so on and so forth. And kind of have some of the talent that we have, and see what he looks like again, because he played against him last year and he won, in the playoffs. It was only 19-12, but he still won. Did what he had to do. He didn't turn the ball over. I said, okay, let me see him again. You know, I wanted to see. Remember, we talked about this. Week 5 to me was the first game I'm gonna truly see here and evaluate him. Like, okay, he that deal.
Yeah. I mean,
hey,
beating the
he
Texans.
that deal. Listen here, he the deal. Hey, God dog, when I tell you he the deal, man, deal or no deal, he the deal, man. Ain't no sense of playing around with that young boy. That boy cool as a cucumber, man. I tell you the truth. That man was wheeling and dealing. That man was out here nickel and diamond, man. Hey, he a pimp. He ain't dropped not a 9 dime on the ground. He ain't left a penny turned over. He picked everything they could get up, and he cashed all of it out, man. And when I tell you he was out there distributing the ball, whether it was to IU, whether it's to George Kittle, whether it's throwing it to the quick screen, he see the one and only Christian McCaffrey giving the ball there, man. Being elusive in the pocket, just stepping up just a little bit, man, making passes on the move. I think Brock Purdy had his come out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he look, he came out bigger than the god doggone gay parade in god doggone June. Like, he came out. Like, he's out.
Is he better than Trey Lance?
Then I'm the boy.
Is he better than Trey Lance?
Huh?
Is Brock Purdy better than Trey Lance? Right
yes,
now, absolutely.
He got time on task. He has the resume to look for. You know, the resume is there. He played multiple teams several times now, and Trey Lance doesn't have tape. He doesn't have the tape, you know, and all thing he has right now is the potential and the expectation what he can do. But Brock Purdy has shown and proved multiple times and doing some really good opponents, and Brock just showed out, man. And big out.
So I'm saying you move your stance on that, right? You know what I'm saying, as far as arm talent and what the capabilities of both quarterbacks could be, right?
Well, we're talking about the physical, like the physical ability of Trey Lance is still there. But one thing we have to see is how does the physicality translate on the field as far as the ability to throw the ball. Last year, we didn't see this many deep passes to stretch the field as much, so it left a little hesitation, and which me and my boy was over here saying, all right, let's see, can he give that ball? Because the one thing about Brandon Ayuk, we was hoping that he can be able to get, stretch the field a little bit more because we knew he had the talent to do so. Now that we see that he's getting the ball in multiple areas of the field, okay, now we're cooking with high grease. Now, can he throw some of those balls that we look back and say, like Josh Allen did the other day, scored in 41 seconds. He threw a ball about like 45 yards on the doggone arrow. He might can't do that. But at the same time, if you can sit here and run your offense the way that it needs to be ran and be efficient, hey, I ain't got to look.
I want to get Law's take on this, but after 5 games and 5 wins, Brock Purdy's trending 4,321 yards, 30.6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and has the NFL's best completion percentage was 72.1. Man, what do you see from Brock, Law? What are you seeing?
I saw a relentless nature. We got to understand this too, regardless of how you guys can look at it. I saw your coordinator, Kyle Shanahan, who's the coach there, made 2 offensive linemen whoop our ass. Beat us down. We couldn't put a finger on doggone Brock Purdy. He had enough time. I was telling people that it looked like he had the wall of Dallas of 93 Cowboys. He had the doggone O-line for your mind. We couldn't even touch the brother, right? And on top of that, what play that really, I was like, I did like this. I do the play-by-play over here on my show. I did like that. Hold my hands up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like hey, man. Hey, that play to, I turned into Plies. You know, have you ever heard Plies twin and Ryan?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, man. That pass. You saw what happened. You saw what he do. He threw that pass to Brandon Ayuk. And I said, man, that's a dime right there. He's him, right? And then there was a flag, and I was like, oh, my goodness. Come on. Goodness gracious, the mercy, the football guys are on our side just a little bit.
Yeah.
For him, and then they moved the ball back. The very next play, here he go. He hit Debo down the middle of the save. I said, hey, I get it. I get it. People don't want to put Brock Purdy up there. I for damn sure didn't want to put Brock Purdy up there, but shoot, he's very much so a front runner for MVP, because if you look at the game, you look at all of what he was able to do. Now Christian McCaffrey, if you look at it, hey, we held him to his lows, right? Christian McCaffrey, how many yards he had?
Not as much as Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason has
Jordan Mason whooped our ass. But Christian McCaffrey, he averaged 2.7 yards per toe. It wasn't a lot.
Yards. Yeah.
It wasn't a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't miss him that much. Shoot. And I'm not discounting Christian McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy, he literally, the game plan was, I said that, hey, I want Purdy to beat us. Well, damn it, I take that back. Can I get Christian McCaffrey to beat us? So you guys drawed up a good plan, and Brock Purdy, he put that ball right on the money for number 19. And there's no refute. There's no refute for that.
Hey, bro, I'll say real quick about what Christian McCaffrey did do, though. When you have everybody looking in on you, that Lathan Van Der Esch pass where he tried to jump in the air and try to knock it down when he threw it to Ayuk, that deep cross in the middle. See, those 2 steps forward is because of Christian McCaffrey. If LV was 2 steps back, he probably could have tipped it. But just knowing that gravity pulls you just the slightest bit, a little bit closer to LOS, it opens up the field. So even when he's not productive in the passing game or in the rushing game, he still affects the ball game because he draws so much attention, and he gives people now you have to pay attention to him. And so one thing I will still give Christian McCaffrey credit for, and Brock Purdy is able to diagnose that quick enough to know that they're sinking down over here or they shifting over here, and knows the areas of the field that he needs to hit, and he hit that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did, man. And I mean, your coaches continue to find ways to utilize guys. I had me pulling up Jordan Mason. I was like, who this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Jordan Mason's nice.
Yeah, Anthony Mason's son. I was like looking at everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, whose Mason this is? He's a Freemason, because of how he was running through that thing. And all I can think of is, God, dog, what if you guys had Elijah Mitchell out there? So it was like, hey, the next man up, and hey, he bulldozed over all of us, and he made us pay in this game, and it was a terrible situation for us,
Yeah, Jordan Mason, he's a fan favorite. He don't get as much play as we all want him to, but he's 10 carries, 69 yards, 6.9 yards per carry. When y'all knew the run was coming, I think Dallas felt defeated at that point, so it was a different ball game. But yeah, man. Jay Versick says y'all catching that L next time. All right, man.
That's what I'm talking about, Jay Versick. Come on, somebody's still talking some good stuff over there. Come on, I'm with you, Jay Versick, man.
But today. Hey, look, Ryan G and Law, we finna give y'all that Billy Blanks back in the 90s double time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that workout videotape when Billy Blanks said double time? He just hurry up and just get the beating the brakes off you real quick. You know what I'm saying?
It's brutal breakdown, man. It's a beautiful beat down too, man. Like I said, I still find the positive. I'm gonna hold on to that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the Rams, y'all beat them boys down. I encourage Cowboy fans to go out there and watch that LA Rams versus the 49ers tape when they put up 31-10 on them. You know what I'm saying? It looked like the Rams was hopeless. You know what I'm saying? But keep going, y'all. Keep going.
I want to give a shout out to myself, because I predicted before that game. I tweeted out, Kittle game loading, and if it wasn't the damn Kittle game, man, the man had 3 touchdowns, career high for him. Something about these Cowboys, they don't have a matchup for George Kittle. That's why I feel like it was going to be the Kittle game. They don't have anyone that can deal with Kittle, and they don't really have a tight end that's a threat. I think that's one of the big advantages the 49ers have over these Cowboys is the tight end and the defense of the tight end. I called the Kittle game. He came out and proved me correct. And that's why I get paid the big bucks.
For sure, man. I was on somebody's show. I'm giving a dude by the name of Boss Cowboy yesterday. I was on the show. He was talking about last year playoff game, how the 49ers wasn't as physical as the Dallas Cowboys. The 49ers, like Deebo Samuels, wasn't that physical. And he was like, Brandon, you ain't that physical as DeRon Bland. And he was saying all this, so on and so forth. And I was just sitting here talking like, hey, bro, George Kittle had 91 yards last year against y'all. So even when you think you can stop the running back or stop a Brandon Ayuk, we have a plethora of weapons. And what are you going to do with George Kittle? Well, we got Javon Curse, and he got the name of these people in the backfield. I said, bro, they got to sit here and split their attention to these other individuals that we have on our squad. And at the end of the day, whenever he needed to use George Kittle, he was effective. And not only was he effective, he scored TDs. Y'all know that the Dallas, man, listen here. The way that the 49ers was moving that ball down the field, they actually could have had more points if they really, like, Kyle was mad at halftime. He said, man, we left more points out there, you know, and that's because of the physicality. When we went and scored that first drive, when they kicked that doggone ball off and they marched down that field, you just could see the physicality. You like, oh yeah, it's on and popping. You know what I'm saying? And so,
yeah. Solid Rock of Jesus Christ Ministry gives $5. Says Cowboys could win most of their games the rest of the year, and it won't change my opinion after last night. I got to see them drop a top team. When's the next good team to doubt? Who the Cowboys? What's the next good team the Cowboys play?
We play the Chargers next week, and then we go to our bye. Then we play the Rams, and then we play the Eagles. So, and here's the thing. We probably catch the Rams at the wrong time because now Cooper Kupp, he's going to be back into the fold. I know the last game was his first game back. They gave the Eagles a little sweat, but then the Eagles pulled off on them like they're supposed to do. So these next 3 games are very vital. If I'm the Cowboys GM, I'm in the trade pool. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking to bring in Patrick Surtain. I'm looking to bring in somebody's linebacker. We are razor blade thin at linebacker. LVE, you can tell the team with all of the physicality. Just look at the injury report. Donald got out. Jordan Lewis got out. LVE got out. My guy Cavante Turpin, after he made that big explosive play, y'all knocked him out. So everybody that I can think of, the center knocked out. How many guys I'm naming? Shoot, everybody got hurt. You know, I'm hurt. You know what I'm saying? So everybody hurt. You know, regardless of whether it's legal or illegal. Hey, did you get your ass whooped? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Hey, did you rub some spice on that ankle? Yes. So somebody was telling me before the game, and it was last week, they were saying, hey, do you consider the 49ers a little dirty the way they play and how they roll up on people? I said, nah, I don't consider them dirty. But now I look back at it, every play, y'all gonna make sure y'all gonna rob a guy. Y'all gonna put a little, y'all gonna put a little, hey, I was here. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all the type of people that go over the lady house and you make sure you leave something so that somebody can find out. That's what y'all do. You say, okay, all right, okay, Ashaniqua, I'm gonna be over here. All right, I'm gonna leave a little something. I'm gonna leave my essence. And the Cowboys, man, we got the essence of the 49ers all over. We can't get that smell off of us until about 2 or 3 weeks. And the 3-letter network gonna let us know too. So, hey, it is what it is. I think even Dak Prescott got hurt. His middle finger. He was playing around with his phalanges. So everybody got hurt. Everybody, man. Pride got hurt.
Man, well, I hope there's no serious injuries. I think the 49ers had Banks, our left guard, had a bicep pull or something like that, but it's not supposed to. He was
throwing somebody down so hard to the ground, and he sat on them. He was like,
yeah. You guys have any?
They didn't slow y'all down at all, by the way.
you guys didn't have any serious injuries in that game, did you? Like any long term?
Yeah. It's serious injury. News reports that Cavante Turpin is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. The unknown certainty of LVE. He had neck issues already, so he may be out for the unforeseeable future. So that's why I said if the Cowboys really about winning, they're gonna have to jump on some trades and get some guys. You can't just say, okay, and I was trying to tell people, if LVE, and I like LVE, man, it's people, real good people, man. But if he's your best player out there, then there's problems, man. Yeah. He was your best player on defense. Look, Michael Parsons, I love him, but he shows up 0 across the stat sheet. Man, come on, put an APB alert out for the brother, because Trent Williams, I said, man, he put the clamps on my dog over there. And I said this, and I'm going to say this till I'm Cowboys blue in the face. Don't match big on big or strength on strength. Why not? When you see that lion out there in the Serengeti, he's looking for the feeble. He's looking for the weak. He ain't looking for going up against the hippo or the rhino at their strength. He's making sure that, hey, if that hippo had a baby, that's vulnerable situations. If that rhino is small or if he broke his leg, it's time for me to pounce. And the Cowboys didn't do that last night. That's Trent right. Williams didn't allow nothing. Look, they said at the end of the game, Brock Purdy can take his same jersey and wear it for the next week. He don't even have to put it in the laundry. So we didn't put no pressure on the brother.
He doesn't have the freedom to just move to wherever he wants. Why was he lining up against Trent Williams the whole time and not Colton McKivitz? I was wondering that myself.
Me too.
Shoot, all y'all, I was wondering, I was like, come on, man, change my last name to Wonder, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say, wow. I love you. Come on, man. I couldn't see it all, man. Why would you just continue to put your strength on their strength? And on top of that, McKivitz, we saw the time that they did slide my guy Parsons to that side. He created pressure. Brock Purdy threw the ball away. And I said, yes, they finally listened to me. But, and my guy D-Law, I love him, man. But McKissick, hey, he put the claps on D-Law. D-Law couldn't get by him. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
That should have been automatic. Like I assumed that we were going to see Michael Parsons against Colton McKivitz, and we didn't. It didn't make any sense.
It didn't happen that way. It didn't happen that way.
I want to talk to you about Michael Parsons and get you guys' take on this. You see his comments talking about basically like the score didn't reflect the game, and basically they're on the same level as the Niners, but the score didn't really reflect the game. I like Michael Parsons. I like things he said in the past, but come on, man, like. The score didn't reflect the game. It was a ass whooping through and through.
Can you repeat that one more time? What happened now?
Michael Parsons' comments about the game basically said that the score didn't really reflect what was going on out there.
It wasn't that big of a difference between what they did compared to what we did. He's like, we was right there.
Yeah, I want to get y'all thoughts on them comments.
I just want young fish, man, to just hush, man, and play the game. I get it, At this time, that's not the words that we need to hear, because our offense didn't get a first down until the second quarter, 4 minutes and some change left in the second quarter. They could have went through the full half, you know what I'm saying, without getting the first down.
Y'all didn't make the red zone not one time, right?
Not one time. I said, shoot, 0 for 0 in the red zone. I look at that stat, I had to read it twice. And then y'all was 4 for 5 in the red zone. So what I want this team to do and understand is there should be checks and balances. I don't know if you guys do this, but every week there is a rotation of who's the captain of the team on our side. Do y'all do that?
No, we got captain.
No, y'all keep whoever the captain is, he's the captain, right? That's the dude that's gonna be in charge. So the Cowboys got this liberal approach that, hey, every single week I'm gonna have Bland as the captain. I might have Curse as the captain. I might pick Michael Parsons as the captain. That sounds good on a sheets of paper. That sounds good as feelings, how my guy Playmaker would say. But dog it, I need somebody to hold these players accountable. Right? Yeah. I need I'm going to jump on Dak Prescott, but let me jump on the defense for one, right? I need for somebody to say, hey, there should be no face mask on the first series. You giving them life, liberty, and you giving them the pursuit of happiness on drives. And there should be somebody spit coming out of the player's mouth when a player's line up offsides. That's a pre-snap penalty. Those are things that I need somebody to see. Y'all let me vet, man. This is my therapy session right now. I need somebody to yell at that player, grab him by the face mask and say, get your butt on the back end of the LOS. Normally it comes from your Mike linebacker, but we got a lot of people that want to be called dogs, but not dogs, but that's a whole nother conversation. Hey, I need for somebody to tell Parsons, if I got the C on my chest as a second-year player, Bland, and if Parsons line up offside, I need Bland to get some cojones to walk up to Parsons and say, hey, man, we needed you to be focused, lock in. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a fumble that happened, and you guys got chances after chances off of that particular drive.
Yeah, the first drive, there was 3 penalties by the Cowboys on the first drive.
Yeah. So you can't beat a team that's the number 1 team overall, number 1 team in defense, number 2 in offense, with those type of second and third chances, drive extenders. And then on the offensive side, we have drive killers. So at this time, man, when Dak Prescott, this is our first opening series. I remember this thing verbatim. We start off the game in shotgun, half back, belly inside. You know what I'm saying? Slam, inside back, slam from a god dog on running back and shotgun. Bosa, you told me, you gave me the secrets, both of y'all. Y'all said, hey, run at Bosa. They ran away. Hey, Bosa took my guy Terrence Steele, got rid of his hands, and made the tackle. It was a 1 yard or a negative yard play. The second play, we go back to the cute, good old shotgun. And when I tell people, when you playing against a team like the 49ers, let me ask you, Ron G, and let me ask you, Twin, is shotgun, is imposing your will? Is that finesse or is that physicality or is that power? Let me know.
It's neither. It's not none of the above, right? Like
it's finesse. It's a finesse look. Shotgun is finesse look. It's letting people know that the possibility of a run is very slim. That you are opening up so you can see the field. Shotgun was created so you can see the field, so you can get finesse look, not to present power. So they went finesse. The second ball that Dak Prescott threw to Luke Schoonmaker. Hey, Schoon had to go buy a ladder from Home Depot to climb up there to go get the ball. Hey, man, come on, Dak. The ball was too high. And then the third play, come on, man. Come on, incomplete pass, punt it away. So that's what we're doing here. That's all scripted plays for the first 17 to 18 plays. We punt it away. We give all momentum back to the 49ers. So, no, that score, when y'all scored that 7, I told people when I was doing the play-by-play, and I know I got a lot of people that are not going to like me right here because I'm telling the truth, and a lot of people don't want it. But that 7 felt like y'all was up by 14. And when y'all got up by 14, it felt like y'all was up by 21. Why? Because we couldn't move the ball.
And thank God for the boy Christian McCaffrey fumbling on the doggone goal line, because it was a nasty drive then. We was matriculating down the field, man. And a lot of people don't understand, when you're in shotgun starting off the game with a physical team like the 49ers, that's when you need to be in 21 personnel, god dog it. You need to have your fullback out there. You need to have 2 running backs out there. You need to line up in I formation. You don't need to sit here and be in the shotgun with a little homie back here chilling against us starting the game out when everybody in the world know we are a what type of team? A physical team. We only give up 66 yards rushing the ball. So you got to come out with a mentality saying, listen here, it's a double strap game. Wherever Limpke, whoever his name is.
Hunter, man, he should have got some dosage. He should have had some Jordan Mason type of pull. Look,
get you some burn out there. But when you don't do that, and another thing, the last 3 games y'all play against us, I believe it's been 3 consecutive games within the first 3 plays y'all have had penalties, multiple penalties on the first possession as well. So to me already, how is it that we're going to start the game off? And when I saw that penalty by, I think it was Javon Curse or somebody earlier in the game on the first drive, I say, oh yeah, mentally again, they're too hyped. They ain't ready yet.
Let me ask you a question. We all know the Cowboys and the 49ers history, but can you really have a rivalry anymore if you're getting beat every single time you play it?
Hey. Now that's too far. Now, come on, Ryan. I feel you now. Shoot. Hey, go ahead. Well.
What's your take?
Well, back to what my brother was saying with the physicality. It was stupidity mixed in with that.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful to put Luke Schoonmaker. I don't give a damn how good of a blocker you may think Luke Schoonmaker was in Michigan. How in the hell my Cowboys, excuse my French, Ron G, my bad on your show, but how in the hell did you think that Luke Schoonmaker was going to hold down Bosa? They put Schoonmaker on Bosa one-on-one. He's supposed to be. I said, come on, man. So when you're talking about rivalry, it was more stupidity. You guys beat us the last 3 visits, right? 2 times in the playoffs and now, right? Yeah. So, hey, you guys lead the series now 20-19-1. It's still a close niche type of rivalry, but it's man,
historic one.
But this was the worst historical loss that we ever seen. If whoever roots for the Cowboys, this is our worst beat down in franchise history. And I don't mind us losing, believe it or not, but I want us to be competitors. I want us to compete. If we compete in every game, we should have a chance. Just like I said to the people last night, it's not the fact that the Bills, I'm talking about another team, it's not the fact that the Bills lost to the Jaguars, but down to the last seconds of that game, the Bills mafia or nation, if there's ever such a thing, they felt as if though they had a chance. we didn't feel like we had a chance in this game.
Let me get your professional opinion here, Law, because you face this team twice per year. Eagles are 5-0, 49ers are 5-0. But the Eagles ain't beating teams down like the 49ers are right now. Who's the better team between those two teams? What's your take on Eagles and Niners? I know you don't like neither one of them teams, but I just want your take on that.
Hey, you know, this is a situation that I would say this too. I think that you guys, if Purdy, and I'm using the operative word, if Purdy was able to finish that game, y'all would have been in the Super Bowl, you know. So that still stands to this day. You know, I think that you guys are the better team. I think that you guys probably would have did something similar to the Eagles if they were to play y'all on Sunday night yesterday. You know, an Eagle fan probably would never admit it. They would say that they are 5-0, but they haven't even got to the meat of their schedule yet. And I'm not shortchanging what the Eagles done. The name of the game is to win. And they're 5-0. Can't take that away from them boys. But clearly you can see the way y'all dominate teams, regardless of who's out there.
Yeah.
Y'all dominate teams, you know, and that's just the thing. I look back at the LA Rams tape that you guys looked at. Hey, they jumped up on y'all 17. But it's in the game moment that you guys make the necessary adjustments and you take the takeaway. You force the turnover, and that play dividends. And my Cowboys haven't done that. We haven't played a complete game against a good team or a great team. And that jury is still out on my team to see what we look like versus the Chargers now.
Yeah.
So yeah, for a long answer short, you guys are the better team in the NFC. But hey, I'm personally, I'm not trying to put this out there, and shout out to the Eagles. But those Lions, don't sleep on those boys, you know, and they might have lost the game, but shoot, the way those boys are playing, they would probably give the Eagles a run for their money as well. So just for stat purposes, I would say 49ers, Eagles, Lions, and then my Cowboys. But in the reality of it is the 49ers by head and shoulders high above all of those boys.
I can't wait till December 3rd. We play the Eagles December 3rd in Philly. That's going to be good.
I want to say this too, man. Listen, I don't know if y'all saw this, but the boy Nick Bosa came out there with the black gloves. It seemed like he went to OJ house back in the 90s and took that black gloves. And he said, it's about to be a scene out here. I need to make sure y'all don't got no fingerprints. So he made sure he went out there. You
calling Dak Nicole is what you're saying. You say Dak is Nicole. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Hey, them gloves never fit, OJ, man. Come on, man.
Bosa said, I got some for y'all, boy. He went out there. And the moment when I seen that boy, number 57, the number 2 linebacker in the league, when Dre Greenlaw took Tony Pollard,
suplex,
he
said, yeah.
We got a couple of these bad boys right here. Preacham Talk $2 says we didn't get beat. It was a bloodbath. $20 from Dwayne Jackson, the big spenders in the building. He said it's time to have an honest conversation about Dak. Dak has reached his ceiling. He's been the quarterback for 7 years. What organization would to let the quarterback face the franchise for 7 years? Dallas traded for Lance for a reason. Let me ask you about that, man.
That's a good question.
Saw Trey on the sidelines warming up, doing his thing. Is Trey like a legitimate option for the Cowboys in the future?
I mean, the attention pool is there, and it's about selling tickets. It's about not winning games here. And if Trey Lance he did a video last week, and I looked back at it had 32,000 views, right?
Yeah.
The starting quarterback, you know, had like 5,000 or 6,000 views. I said, man, damn, the people.
Yeah. That's how it is here too.
Interview Cooper Rush, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there like, hey, wait a minute. Hey, Trey's supposed to be the third string. But so my Cowboys media don't do a great job of trying to mask that. They expose that, which that's their job, right? But when it's Ed House, come on, man, you can at least help it out just a little bit. So Trey Lance, hey, they didn't use draft capital for free, right? So
you still
probably
there?
say, yeah, we still here.
Okay.
You still there?
Yeah.
You still there?
Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
See.
I feel like I'll speak in while you're working on that, but I feel like people don't realize is yes, Cooper Rush is the backup quarterback for Dak Prescott, but he's not the future, right? Whereas Trey Lance, they got him there as a possibility to be a future type quarterback, where Cooper's he's there to back up Dak if Dak gets hurt. So even though Trey's QB3, the Niners didn't want that situation in San Francisco because they got Brock Purdy, but the Cowboys were like, let's do it, man. So they got Cooper Rush as a backup if Dak gets hurt, but they got Trey Lance as a possible future quarterback
potential
for the Cowboys. Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, my bad, Twin, go ahead.
Now, I just have a question, man, because honestly, when I'm looking at the players of the Dallas Cowboys, you know how somebody could say, like, hey, I like this person, but you can tell that they might not be in love with this person and totally behind them. I honestly believe if you put these guys and put a lie detector on them and they ask about Dak Prescott being the quarterback and able to rise above consistently to beat the better teams, I don't think everybody trusts and believe him on that offense and defensive, like on the team right now. I don't think it's all the way there. I think there's been multiple occasions now where they have doubt, and I don't think they really are invested to go fully in with Dak Prescott. Now, that's just me looking outside, looking in. I don't see them. There's certain movements and body language that they've been doing consistently against big games where they starting to like lose a little faith in Dak Prescott.
I mean, all it takes is one grain of rice can tilt the scale. And when we look at it, if you are locally in Dallas, there's no positive phrases from people off record about Dak Prescott. There's always I know for sure we can't win. And there's something about positivity, and I speak life into a lot of things, but he don't have a lot of people that's advocating for him right now. And that's just about like, no matter where you go, you know what I'm saying? And it's not about skin tone or any of those things, because more brothers like this, like, man, I can't for Dak Prescott right now. You know what I'm saying? He's making me sick right now. I can't do X, Y, and Z. We won't win, law. And then I go to other spots of the world. Hey, man, I can't stand Dak. You know what I'm saying? So no matter where I go and no matter what we look at, there's only less than probably 10 to 5% of Cowboy Nation that really support Dak. Now, when we win, there's still a situation where that 10 to 5% or the 5 to 10% can rev up to 20 to 30%, but they still thinking like, hey, just wait, because the 3-letter network then already poisoned the mind that, hey, he might win in the regular season, but hey, this is an example of what he's going to do in the postseason. And it's just, that is the reality. Only the people that's not locally will argue against me about that, because you go to any of these stores, they'll beat you down if you haven't Prescott apparel or Dak Prescott any information about the Cowboys. They're going to talk bad about the quarterback. That's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Let me ask you guys this, man. And I love that Law's here to answer these questions too, because it's nice. He's not a 49ers fan, so we get his take. Twin and Law, I want your question. Is the 49ers offense or defense better? The 49ers, we're used to having a defense carry the load, but this year, man, it's hard for me to say who's better. What would your take be on that? Who's better, the offense or the defense for the 49ers?
Jeez. You guys do have the number one defense and the number two offense. It's compelling that if it wasn't for Miami and their turnstile offense and where they're burning things up and getting all crazy yards, you guys would have the foreseeable number one offense in the National Football League.
Yeah.
But when you have a culture, and that's one thing that I heard Boss Cowboy said too in the past, when he was debating my brother Twin, is that you guys established a culture. It doesn't matter. You had the same grace, the same mercy, the same flow when Jimmy Garoppolo was under center, right? You guys expound upon that now with Brock Purdy. But physicality is on all phases, on offense and defense.
Yeah.
So I would think by sure thoughts of how your defense play in practice, it trickled down over to the offense. So that whole saying that iron sharpen iron, steel sharpen steel.
Yeah.
Y'all play against the best defense every day in practice. And so it's quite sure that teams are going to have to say to themselves, when you play against the 49ers, expect to be on your best behavior, because if you fool around and have an a false start, now you're not, instead of 1st and 10, it's 1st and 15.
Yeah.
And then if you know what I'm saying, offside, instead of 1st and 10, now it's 1st and 5, and the playbook is so massive that you don't know whether or not if you're going to play over the top, because Brandon Ayuk can kill you over the top.
Yeah.
And if you try to cover that, damn Debo Samuel kill you underneath. And then once you cover that up, CMC, he's able to cut you inside or outside. And then the moment you figure that out, Kittle's like, hey, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
So it's at this point, the only way that you can beat the Niners, and I'm knocking on wood, I don't want this to happen, is unforeseeable injuries, which you guys had issues with in the past, or shoot, you just catch them on a bad day. But damn it, both teams ain't gonna be having that bad day, offense and defensively. You can't have both of those boys having a bad day unless you're the Cowboys. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't see it. Twin, I got a question for you, man. I was thinking about it, brother. Like, is this the best 49ers team since 1994? I don't remember the 2019 or the 2012 team just dominating everybody like this team is dominating. I don't feel like there's many weaknesses. Maybe Oliver at the nickel corner is the weak link on defense, but he's not that bad. He did get smoked for 1 touchdown real quick. You know, maybe Colton McKivitz ain't the best right tackle, but overall, they don't have many weaknesses. This reminds me of that 94 squad. Is this the best 49ers team since 94, Twin?
I think this is probably the best balanced team that we've had. You know, I think we had teams like those early 2010 teams. The defense was nasty and the physicality was there. We had Pro Bowlers everywhere. But when you're talking about offensively and defensively and having the ability of players who can do the short game, the mid game, and the long game on the offense, and then also a quarterback that was able to throw the ball on 3 levels as well and can run the ball. And then on defense, you have the linebackers in the secondary and the safeties back there who can consistently play good ball against the run and keep all the passing in front of them. You know, I believe that so far right now, we're probably they're the closest to one another. You know what I mean? Because usually it's the defense of the 49ers carrying the team, and we just got a real strong running game. I believe now, if you look at what's my guy named Anquan Bolden and then was doing back then, they were a decent ride. They were good wide receivers, but they wasn't as good as, to me, in my opinion, as Debo and Brandon Ayuk was. You know, I think at that time Baldwin was a little bit older. You know what I mean? And he couldn't just do some of the explosive things that Debo could do in the versatility that he had. So I believe this team is more versatile too than that team in 2019, and is more dynamic than the team that was in 2011, 2012, like 2011, 12, 13 year.
It feels like to me they last year was 90. Last year was 93, and we got CMC. That's like when we got Prime, and this is 94. That's how it's feeling for me. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, that'll mean CMC take off next year.
It's still too soon though, Ryan. Yeah, it's week 5 though. Like, you know, I just want to let everybody know it's still week 5, and I'm not. Look, this is not me waving the white flag. I'm not saying that I'm out on my Cowboys. If anytime you want to lose like this, bad in week 5, man, we got plenty of season left. And that's the only reason why I brought up the 31-10 on what y'all did against the Rams, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, that if we don't grab hold to this team and get things going in the best way possible, we will be regurgitating the same thing about what happened in this game.
Hold on, hey, bro. Quick question, though. Quick question. Now, I know you talking about that team against the Rams, right?
All right.
Brock Purdy or Jimmy Garoppolo?
It was Jimmy Garoppolo in that game. Yeah,
I don't know, but I'm saying that's the main difference in this team compared to that team where we had a very, let's just say, a median quarterback who was very, he didn't have a lot to his game, kind of predictable. And so,
right.
this quarterback here, I think, is definitely a force multiplier, and we didn't have CMC.
Wait. So are you saying that Brock Purdy is now the force multiplier altogether versus CMC and all of those boys? Now, he did have a great game last night, but I'm not willing to just go ahead and shoot him all the way up to the top like that. But go ahead. Well,
when you're talking about what Jimmy G has done as far as a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers in the passing game, and not managing the game, but just in the passing game, I believe that he is better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's more like quicker foot as well. We all know that Jimmy Garoppolo was a statue. So when we comparing those two, I think he's already surpassed what Jimmy G could ever be as 49er. Just he had multiple game stretches.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that Rams team, if they had to play against somebody like Brock Purdy, I believe it's a different type of mentality that you got to go and attack this team with. So that's what I'm saying about the quarterback position and how important we all know the QB position is. And I believe he is 3 to 4 steps above Jimmy Garoppolo, which makes it a whole different dynamic compared to when somebody's trying to look at that quarterback compared to this quarterback and how they go about calling plays, and the confidence as well that Kyle Shanahan has to open up his playbook compared to him condensing the playbook, because he was always saying, Jimmy, don't give the game away. He's telling Brock Purdy, go and get the game.
We almost won the Super Bowl in 2019 with Jimmy Garoppolo's trash ass, and now we got Brock Purdy, who is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So that does give me confidence. I think.
And then I always say this too. Systems do matter. In the last 10 years, Jimmy Garoppolo got more playoff wins than the damn Aaron Rodgers of the world, Staffords, and any quarterback that you can name, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott. He got more playoff wins than all of those boys combined. So in the last 10 years. So it's a situation, whereas now you multiply that by what Kyle Shanahan is doing. I think it's time to start talking about Kyle Shanahan stepping up, being one of these better coaches in the National Football League, especially his name should be already there. But now I'm talking about entering into the rooms of basically what Andy Reid has been doing for all of those years. And he's missing one thing, and that is the Super Bowl. And I would surely hate if you guys go all the way up and win that Super Bowl, but I'm giving credit where it's at, this point. Kyle Shanahan is a mastermind out of this, and I don't think that there should be anybody talking negatively about Kyle Shanahan and the way he runs his operation and scheme and system.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan is hooping for sure. We got a couple super chats. Says, is it safe? Say Dak is Romo 2.0, can't beat the good team when it matters. And then Dwayne has another question also. Should the Cowboys bring back Randy Gregory if all fences are mended? Randy Gregory is on the 49ers, my guy. We just signed him. He's coming back next week. Too late for that.
Randy Gregory was saying, this is what y'all got to do, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So that experiment worked. If you are not trying to leave no stone unturned, you are not trying to win this championship, even though what the Dolphins did in picking up Chase or whatever his name is, the wide receiver, that is the insurance piece, right? Mm-hmm. Even what the Eagles done is they said, okay, let's go get us another nickel cornerback, who's been one of the best in the league when he was healthy or what have you. That is you trying to make sure that you have no excuses left on the table, right? So, and on top of that is giving these guys a fair shot. If I go into a game and I know that Wanye Thomas, y'all might not know who he is, and if he's been showing up in off-season, preseason, and then the other guy, because he got paid more, you put him out there on the field, even though he's not playing to the skill set and the level of Wanye, then what you did is you let the money get into the way. You're not trying to win again because you want to walk out with your chest high and say, these are the things that I did, right? Yeah. Look, in this particular draft class, every last one of our guys are not making an impact. From Mozzie, who is my guy, he's not even getting on the field, right? Schoonmaker, he's playing volleyball with the football, or he's not on the same pace as it relates to the quarterback, right? I've been telling people, don't try to make Schoonmaker him. Utilize Ferguson. He is the guy. But what Cowboys trying to do, and this is just me going to my therapy session, we are trying to make so many people the name. It's like if you guys were to draft another tight end, instead of getting Kittles going, You said, I'm going to try to get him going since he was a 3rd-round draft pick or he's a 2nd-round draft pick. Bullsugar. Get your weapons going. Get your playmakers going. But that's a whole nother story. Keep going. Y'all keep going.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Twin, what else you want to wrap with this up with, man? I got a Grant Cone show here in about 30 minutes, but I got to.
No, well, at the end of the day, man, again, we looked at this game as a 49er team, the next game on the schedule. We knew that this opponent was who they were, but I love how Brandon Ayuk answered the question during the post-game interview. He was like, hey, I mean, we went out there, we played our brand of ball, and by the time the 4th quarter came, we was already unbuckling our straps and our shoulder pads and getting ready to watch from the sideline. And, hey, whatever that says, that's what it says. On to the next game. And that right there, that mentality, knowing that they're not too high, they're not too low, but they just know when they play their best and just be consistent in what it is that they do, that they believe in their heart of heart. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're guessing how good they are. I believe they know how good they are. And I like that about this team where they're not going to get their chest poked out. They'll say, okay, we won. Let's go on to the next game.
Right.
And that's the key thing, I believe, where you're taking every game by game. Don't look at the headlines. Don't be looking at what me and you talking about. It's the massacre. It's a beatdown. Don't look at none of that stuff. They say, hey, we went out there. The game that was ahead of us, we took care of business. Now we got to wait to the next game. And don't look at the headlines until you finish the job. You know what I mean? And so as long as they keep that mentality and they take on that identity of the coach and their star player as far as Fred Warner and the coolness and the calmness and the collectiveness of a Brock Purdy, I'm good. Just be like water. So that's all I think I wanted to say about this team and how we went forth and handled our business yesterday.
Good
I would like to say this. If you are not subscribed to Twin Empire and you're subscribed to me, you're tripping, man. Make sure you go subscribe to Twin. We're going to get him where he needs to be. He deserves more subs than he has right now. So go subscribe to Twin. Twin is the guy. I appreciate him very much. Also, Law Nation, man, what a classy pair you two are, man. You came up on here. You didn't have to do this after that whooping the Cowboys got last night, but you are a good man. Came up in here and just laid it out there, man. And I appreciate it. And if you should be subscribed to Law Nation too, and even if you're just a Niners fan, get this inside info on the Cowboys. And if they win, we can learn something. If they lose, we can take great joy in that loss. Follow Law Nation, man. Law, man, I appreciate you very much. Anything else you guys want to plug?
I just want to say this, man. I know you got another show coming up. Stomp out the fire. And that's what you guys did. I've been following my brother, for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And he been following me for a long time. We shared the same womb, you know what I'm saying? In the same house and everything. So you already know. But there was a divide in 49ers land.
Yeah.
Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. And what your team did was they stumped out the fire.
Yeah.
They got rid of that issue. They didn't hang around because y'all could have literally been greedy and said, you know what, we're going to keep this guy just in reserve. But you looked at Brock Purdy and said, we made a choice and you made a selection to keep him there mentally focused and rooted in so that he know for sure that this is his job, right? And it's not his job to lose. This is his job. And he don't have no threats. But the Cowboys did the inverse to that. And I'm just saying at this point, Dak Prescott, he's playing like he's walking on thin ice. There's no advocacy from the front office or from anywhere in Dallas that can stand boldly and say 4 is our guy. What it is saying that 4 is the guy until he get hurt. Cooper Rush is next. And then after Cooper Rush, it will be ultimately Trey Lance. And those are two different ways that you approach this. And the Cowboys been doing that, not just from a quarterback perspective, but from a philosophy perspective. We are the only team that run off Amari Cooper and say, okay, let's bring in someone else and not expound upon that. I don't hear the news of, since we got Debo, let's go ahead and not pay Ayuk. We only need one, you know what I'm saying? There's too many. But what y'all did is y'all expound upon that, and those are two different approaches and two different philosophies.
Starts at the top.
It starts at the top, man. And I hate that we have to always do the political football here in Cowboys land. We lost. Y'all won fair and square. We'll see y'all again, and I'm going to still root for my Cowboys. But I just have to let y'all know the differences between how two organizations handle these type of things. You know what I'm saying? And we still, you know what I'm saying, waiting on our great coach from the 90s to get into the Ring of Honor. Come on, Jimmy Johnson. I think that there's some type of karma in that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and I'll say this, man, again, you have to put out the fire in the offseason, man. And that's what happened to 49ers. We knew my boy was like, hey, man, no matter who you pick, the other one got to go. Because if not, you're going to have this divide over and over and over again. Like you said, they got rid of him and made sure this locker room was his, secure. And even if it was secure, if Trey would have been there, you don't want the extra distraction because he does bring a lot of attention just because of the pick and because of the amount of things that you gave up to get him. And so you dismiss that, you know. And so you have to give kudos to him doing that. It helps the media. It helps the fan base kind of come inside and kind of like bond together. You know what I mean? And I love that we did that because at the end of the day, we do want to go and have the best team. We don't need that locker room divided because any little thing can come in there and bring that commotion and bring that type of negativity. And so you have to have that one common goal, not let anything on the outside come in and be able to bring that divide. And I believe that's what the great teams do. And if you don't do that, you will have the rumblings and the bumblings and the things of that nature where every little thing could come in there and bring up some issues. Because now guess who got to answer these questions? Dak got to answer these questions.
Right.
McCarthy got to get them and say, hey, man, Dak played like this against good teams.
And on top of that, and I know we got to go, but on top of that, it goes down to even, it will leave resentment. It will leave, hey, we should have kept X, Y, and Z. For example, Cowboys had something similar to that with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, right? And you guys had something similar with that because Matt Breida, right? He was one time a 49er. Mostert, he was one time a 49er. Those boys are starting somewhere. Those boys are playing good football somewhere. But what y'all didn't lean them on, you know what I'm saying? And the nation being divided, or the empire, or whatever y'all may call yourselves over there, being divided and having that great divide of, hey, man, we should have kept Mostert. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, we should have kept Matt Breida. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, we should have kept X, Y, and Z. But y'all made a move. Y'all stood tall on it, and y'all got with it. But see, to this day, there'll still be Cowboy fans. Hey, man, we should have kept Dalton Schultz. To this day, they're going to be still Cowboy fans saying, hey, man, we should have kept Zeke. Those boys left, and they gave us nothing back in return. You guys were able to move on from those guys and get something back in return. Those are different philosophy. Those are making sure you leave no stone unturned, understanding that you at least want to get something back if you're going to get rid of something, and not wait too late and not get nothing back in return. And that's our philosophy. Man, I'm going to have to do a whole nother show after we leave out for
hey,
here, man. Go ahead, y'all.
Bro, before we get about it, you make sure you go do a show about Brandon Cooks, because one thing he ain't doing, that man ain't picked up a goddamn utensil. He ain't killed no calf. He ain't got no meat. He ain't got condiments. He ain't cooking nothing.
Vegan cooks. He cooking vegan food, man.
Here's what I know.
I'm gonna get up out of here, though.
Here's what I know. John Lynch is cooking. Kyle Shanahan cooking. 49ers is cooking. Cowboys looking in the fridge for leftovers right now. But hey, it's early. It's only 5 weeks, man. You never know how this season's going forward. Yeah. Law Nation, man, much appreciated. Twin, thank you very much, y'all. I appreciate you guys being here today.
Brandon starving.
Talk to y'all soon,
That's funny, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Salute.
Peace.